Hello everybody, my name is Big Citrus and let's get into it. So something weird happened recently. I started playing Overwatch again. Okay, look. Please hear me out. This is really gotta be one of those videos where I would really appreciate if you watched it all the way to the end before forming a final opinion, and you'll see why. I made a video recently called How to Kill a $1 Billion Game to Follow Overwatch, and I worked, really hard on this video. In fact, I think it's probably the best video I've ever seen, and I stand by everything I said in this video. I detailed the rise and fall of Overwatch. I specifically end the video kind of talking about what Overwatch, this game, what it meant to me as a person, and what it did for me in my life. I even preface it with saying, oh, this might be really cringy and everything, or overly cheesy, but I don't care, I'm just gonna say it anyways. Because I was scared that a lot of people were gonna make fun of me or, see me as soft. I'm a man, it's in my nature. I did get some shit slung at me, but honestly, it doesn't affect me anymore. But I did get a lot of comments that were surprising to me, because a lot of people truly had resonated with what I said in that video, talking about how Overwatch got me through some hard times, the community, the game, the developers, and how it will always be my favorite game despite how far it's fallen, and just kind of talking about how much it means to me and how I will never truly not love this game. It will always have a spot in my heart despite everything. I got so many comments of people who shared the same opinions as me and really truly described the love and intense passion they had for this game. I've been on a bit of a break from Overwatch recently. I've been trying a bunch of other games like Counter-Strike 2, Valorant, even gone back to Apex a little bit, Fortnite, of course, with the OG update, which already has turned to shit. And the one thing that I have learned at the end of the day is that all these games are kind of shit. Like I've talked about in other videos. Yes, I know I'm plugging 2 videos in the intro. I know I'm going crazy right now. Like I was saying though, I've talked a lot about how I think kind of just most video games in recent memory are just kind of shit. But I think Overwatch is the least shit out of all of these games, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Today in this video, I want to talk about and truly state a purpose of intent and what my mission is. I want to talk about, can Overwatch even be saved at this point? Is it too late for this video game that once used to be the biggest thing on the planet? Can it go back to where it was? Stick around to the end of the video to hear more about what I'm going to be doing in terms of streaming and community events and stuff, but if you want to participate in that, community Discord's link in the description. That's the best way to stay in contact with me. Okay, let's go. To answer the question that I just asked, no, I don't think it's possible for Overwatch to ever be as popular as it once was. I think that ship has sailed. But that doesn't mean it's, too late to start, sailing the ship in that direction. Overwatch came out at a time where blockbuster games that had a strong multiplayer and competitive focus weren't really coming out that much. And through the last 7 years, God, it's been 7 years since Overwatch officially released, it has managed to stay in the conversation, sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for bad. And I'll admit, what Blizzard has been doing with the game within just even the last few months has been something that I honestly am really impressed with. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and say that everything has been smooth sailing with Overwatch 2. If you watch my video, you're well aware that I was disappointed by the PvE quotation marks release and a lot of the new monetization options and some of the balance changes they've made. Although recently it's been a lot better. They have added a lot of the content that they promised on, especially a lot of quality of life features, and they are making the monetization options better. Yes, the bundles and skins and everything are still, expensive, but at the very least they're adding more ways to earn free skins and more ways to just be able to buy old skins in general. There's also going to be changes to the battle pass model and competitive rank modes and all that stuff coming in the future. There's a lot of good stuff on the horizon for Overwatch, and the Diablo crossover event and the Lost of Seraphim crossover event have been something that have gotten a lot of eyes back on the game. It's almost like Blizzard is understanding what the players wanted this whole time. And through playing Overwatch again recently, even at the ridiculously high MMR I play at, casual flex, I'm like masters on our rolls, Don't DM me too quickly, guys. I'm a busy man. But for real though, even playing at almost the sweatiest level in the game, I still have so much more fun with this game than I do at any level at any other game that I've been playing recently. I feel like a lot of those other games kind of miss the focus that video games are supposed to be fun, and they try to make the experience as balanced and as skillful as possible. And that's great sometimes when it comes to games like Valorant or Counter-Strike. But those games aren't always that fun, and 90% of the people I know who have quit Valorant recently admit that, yeah, that game is really just not that fun, and they only played it because they wanted to compete. They wanted to feel good at something. Overwatch, you can get that same level of striving to be the best, but it's still a fun game. Yeah, is shit in Overwatch really imbalanced, and is Blizzard not really doing that much to fix it? It is, it's true. But my god, this game is still so much more fun compared to all these other games out there. And yes, Blizzard has taken such a huge reputational hit within the last few years, and honestly, I'm curious to see if they'll ever bounce back from it, but perhaps under Microsoft's new leadership, maybe they could. Look, I'm straying too far away from the title of this video. What I'm trying to say is that Overwatch is still great, and it is still better than all these other competitive multiplayer games. I'm not even gonna lie. Currently, the game is being played more than Valorant and Counter-Strike 2. The only games that can compete with Overwatch 2's player base right now are Battle Royales like Fortnite and Apex, which are completely fundamentally different games and are insanely popular with younger audiences, where Overwatch I don't think is as popular. It's like, you know, 7-year-olds who watch CoComelon and Mr. Beast all day. Considering all the reputational hits and people like me saying that Overwatch is dead and everything, these numbers are very impressive. And now I know people are gonna make excuses and say, oh, these numbers aren't quite what they used to be. It's a free-to-play game now, blah, 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 Smurf accounts, alt accounts, this and that. Look, the numbers are still impressive. There's not a single FPS, like multiplayer objective-based shooter that is doing as well as Overwatch right now. I'm not gonna sit here though and pretend that the reputation of Overwatch is completely in the drain. I saw when the Lost of Seraphim event came out, people were still finding ways to shit on Overwatch because they just love shitting on this game. People were saying they were copying League and that like, oh, no amount of cute characters and animations will ever get them to play the game again. They're always looking for a reason to dunk on that game. I will say this, what I've learned about the current Overwatch fan base is that they are rabid. People who've been playing Overwatch recently are people who have picked it up within the last couple of years and have fallen in love with it and are currently experiencing a lot of the love and passion that people who have been playing it since day one like me felt 5 years ago, or it's been people who have been playing it since day one like me and the passion is still somehow there. A dwindling, twisted, but still very bright flame. That's the majority of people who are playing Overwatch right now, and it's a lot more people than you think. It seems like the ship is slowly starting to turn around in terms of the game's relevance. I know that everyone likes to look at Twitch viewership to see like, oh, is a game alive? Is a game doing well? And I'm very guilty of that myself. But if we're going by those numbers, then Grand Theft Auto 5 is currently one of the most successful and thriving games. It's more successful than Apex, Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, Dead by Daylight, League of Legends, Minecraft, everything. Just because of how popular GTA roleplay servers are. Like, people eat those streams up like crack cocaine. Overwatch's numbers are still, honestly, doing pretty decently. It's genuinely insane to me seeing people still be grinding this game every single day and playing it like their life depends on it. The only other competitive game right now that I think has that level of passion for it is maybe Apex Legends, but the competitive scene for that game has not been doing well recently. Speaking of competitive scenes not doing well for games recently, the Overwatch League is kind of just dead, and that is going to be a big problem moving forward. But I don't think for casual fans, I talk about this in my video, you know, go clickety clickety, go watch it, and I kind of talk about, did Overwatch League kill Overwatch? A lot of people who are big figureheads in the community have been saying this for a while, and I personally do not agree. The people who watched esports loved Overwatch League. People don't want to admit it, but it was one of the main pioneers at making esports like a mainstream thing that people knew about and cared about. There's nothing you can do to argue that point. Casual fans who don't watch esports, don't care about pro players, and don't want to watch like 8 hours of scrims every day, do not give a fuck about the Overwatch League. And honestly, it'll probably be better ultimately for the game that the Overwatch League is gone and or rebranded. Teams have been like shutting down. The Houston Outlaws turned into like the content creation org. I don't know. All these teams are leaving and getting shut down. It's been a whole fucking mess. All you need to know is that we will never be seeing Overwatch League as it once was. If it comes back, it's either going to be something completely different, or it's going to be kind of like scaled down, minimized, put in a little soda can, you know, the caffeine's all the way up, the energy's all the way up, but it's just one little can you sip and you're like, all right, that was a good soda. I'm not quite sure the point I was trying to make. It's going to be small, confined energy is what I'm trying to say, which honestly is probably better for a game that is as hectic and sometimes hard to understand as Overwatch. So honestly, I think what they're doing with Overwatch League is probably the right call, and they should have done it a while ago instead of trying to have Overwatch do everything all the time. They should focus more on community events and crossovers and adding more content to the game that people actually enjoy and care about, which they have been doing recently. We're getting a new hero named Maga, finally. It took them years. And they're adding a new map, which honestly is pretty good. Like, yeah, we talk a lot of shit, but they've been doing a good job recently. Blizzard said that they are scaling back the development of PvE, and you know, there was that big thing where everyone freaked out where they said they can't deliver that original vision. God, I still can't get over how badly phrased that was. I love you, Jared Noose. You really put the noose in Jared Noose there, huh? Jared Noose. I'm trying to imply that he hung a noose around the reputation of Overwatch's neck and then like, you know what I'm saying? It's funny, right? All right, I'm sorry. I promise I'll stop being annoying. I probably won't. I'll probably continue to be annoying. Anyways, and in all of that rigmarole, they did say that they were scaling the development of PvE back so that they could focus on the live game. It's what everyone knows the game for, and I'll admit recently the game's been getting more frequent updates and content, and yeah, I don't really have much else to complain about in that way. Beating heart of Overwatch was the expansion of the world and the content. That is what kept it alive. The casuals loved lore dumps and new characters and, you know, new locations to look at, new stories to read within the Overwatch lore, and the people grinding and playing the game every day wanted new content to mess with. Blizzard just started to add content that people honestly didn't really want in the game and didn't really make much sense to exist in the game. And yeah, things have been going better for Overwatch recently, and honestly, while all of these other games have been getting worse and worse with every single season, Overwatch has been one of the only games that's actually been improving. Look, let's all be real. We all hopped back on Fortnite OG to play some of our, you know, favorite locations and maps and use some of our favorite weapons. Me and myself and many others immediately have already stopped giving a fuck about Fortnite and are not going to go back to play it when the new season comes about. It's just the truth. Video games are supposed to be fun. I talk about that as well in my Call of Duty video. I went 3 for 3. I have plugged 3 videos. I'm so fucking good at this. At the end of the day, video games are either supposed to be a form of art to be enjoyed or a form of fun to be had. That's how I look at them. Games like Death Stranding, games like Life is Strange, or The Last of Us are mostly to be enjoyed more as pieces of art to be observed and analyzed and be immersed into rather than necessarily to have fun. Even if you don't like those games, I hope that point makes sense. Things like Overwatch and Call of Duty, to me, the core focus should always be how much fun can the player have as quick as possible. That is what they should be prioritizing, and Overwatch has been recently. And yes, I know sometimes they still make silly decisions, like they're slowly adding more CC and more infinite healing abilities into the game, which I'm not the biggest fan of. They were able to rework Sombra and Roadhog without completely changing them like they did with Symmetra and Torbjorn in the past, so they're still familiar to people who used to play those characters a lot, but now they have added additional abilities that make them a bit more versatile and fit better into the roles that they're supposed to be, which is important. I talked a little bit of smack on Aaron Keller in the last video, but I gotta admit, at the moment, him and the team seem like they're finally starting to really deliver on things the players have been asking for. But is it enough? I don't know. Activision Blizzard still has maybe the worst reputation in all of gaming. I'm not sure what else is going to surpass it. Overwatch has also just kind of been turned into a punchline. I constantly and consistently just see people talk about how they don't really understand it or like it. Is there anything that the people working on this game could do to bring it back to what it used to be? I honestly don't know. I know I act like I know everything sometimes on this channel, but the truth is I don't. I'm right about a lot of things, but, you know, I can't always see the future. However, something tells me that Overwatch will be that game that will be around forever. It will be a League of Legends. It will be a Counter-Strike. And you know what? Even if it doesn't, maybe Blizzard cannot save this game, but maybe I can. I, over the course of the next fewish months, am going to be streaming this game every week on this YouTube channel as well, probably on Twitch. I'll be creating a link for that within the coming days. And I'm going to be doing community events, community tournaments. We're going to be analyzing patches. I'm going to be reviewing clips and VODs that you, the people, send in. And what we're going to try to do is we are going to try and breathe life back into this game. We are going to petition for better patches. We are going to try everything we can do to bring this game back to its former glory. We're going to be talking about the state of the community, the state of the game, the state of everything. We're going to see if we can either fix Overwatch or watch it sink. Maybe I'll just get burned out on the game all over again. I don't know. But I feel like I owe this game a lot, and I feel like I have to try, and you guys are coming along with me. Starting sometime within the next week, and of course, I'm going to be finally getting top 500. You know, I'm not that far off. I might as well keep going to see how bad or good the rank system in this game truly is. I have challenges planned. I have so much planned. And I don't know, maybe it's all gonna suck and maybe it's not gonna be worth my time, but I have to at least try. Hashtag save Overwatch. Hashtag revive Overwatch. Hashtag it's not Overwatch. You know, we'll come up with something. And we're gonna see where this experiment leads us within the next few months. And maybe I'm gonna look back at this video and call myself a dumb, stinky, stupid boy who knew nothing. But at least I will be the dumb, stinky, stupid boy who tried and put his all into something that he believed. This is one of the only times I'm ever gonna urge that you actually stop the video right now, join the Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and especially the community Discord, and have your stream notifications on, because we're gonna see what we can make of this game within the next few months. I have seen that a lot of times a single content creator can revive a game from the ashes and make it into something bigger, and I'm probably not the man for the job, but I will try. Every journey begins with a single step. This is step 1. I've been Big Citrus, and have a damn good one.